Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting race of the Randomizer League Season 4. I'm your host. I am Zeb316, and today I'm joined by Idle. How you doing, Idle?
Doing good. This will be fun co-commentating with you. Have you done much commentary on these Dash recall seeds?
Not really on these ones, no.
Okay, because I'm interested to hear your advice because I take a lot of your advice for some of the other settings, but
hmm
Dash recall is definitely different. It's almost like they tried so hard to balance it that now everything feels a little like a coin flip. Like you really.
Yeah. So that's kind of the thing. I'm not sure that so with Dash Recall, I feel like it's the mode that is the most almost like with old Major Minor, where I felt like back when I was doing that, back when that was like all that it was in the season, it was basically like metagaming your opponent, like figuring out, okay, is my opponent going to go up or down kind of a thing? And do I
Mhm.
want to do the same thing or something different as them? I feel like this is really similar, like where you need to like figure out what your opponent's preferences are, and then like play to those to some extent. Where like in other modes, you just kind of play your own game.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because I feel like a lot of the meta for those modes has been established. Usually, you go down the red tower, not up. If
Mm-hmm.
you have Varia, you definitely go down. You don't even think about it. And there's a lot of things that have already been decided to where your opponent's probably going to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Dash, there's just so many options. Wreck Ship is better in this mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then
Um,
there are things like going out the back of wreck ship versus going like out the front.
yep.
Going like if you got pressure valve, like do you go into Meridia or do you like just like go into Norfair? Like there are a lot of different decision points.
Yep, and that Forgotten Highway path is still a little bit suboptimal, but it's also, I mean, your opponent might do it, and if they find a, a good suit back there, Dash is kind of set up where you don't need the suits too because we have the heat shield, which gives you upper Norfair protection and a half protection in lower Norfair. You
hmm
have the pressure valve, as you mentioned, it gives you kind of like gravity suit everywhere except for deep East Meridia. And then you've also got the double jump, which is like a lesser version of space jump. You've got these different options to get to the game if you don't find that suit.
hmm
I guess we're having a little trouble with Iron Rusty's feed
Yeah, yeah.
here.
I'm looking and it looks like it is on Aaron Rusty's end. I'm looking at his stream and it um isn't loading for me, so I
Okay. Hopefully that gets
yeah.
resolved. Are we even allowed to message him in the race chat, or can we? I don't know if we can.
I don't think I would be able to. Maybe an admin or like a mod would be able to put a message in there, but
Chat asking to restart the race. We are not going to restart the race. And hopefully, Iron Rusty is locally recording, and it is just a streaming issue. In which case,
yeah.
the race would still be. I imagine we'd still be able to resolve anything
Yeah,
that's
yeah, for
there.
sure. But anyway, getting back to like the race, the actual race that's happening. We got grapple as one of our first two items, and we still don't have supers or power bombs. So gonna have to try to find those still.
Oh man, yeah, I hadn't noticed we didn't have either supers or power bombs. Oof. Well, at least we know where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Good old BT. So we still can't find Varia or Gravity in Criteria, but those half suits, the heat shield and the pressure valve, could be here.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So
and
it's
this is interesting.
this
I
is
don't think you
interesting.
want to go to Gauntlet on this
But
because you can't go out the back unless you get like exactly bombs there.
but
Um,
we know that school has been a little bit burned by that decision.
yeah. I mean, it's different in Chozo because in Chozo there can be power bombs there as well.
True.
But in this, it's incredibly rare, like even more so, even more rare than in Chozo, I feel like, to get burned on not checking Gauntlet.
And somebody mentioned in chat earlier today that Dash like see about power bombs a little more. I don't think it's as particular as the very difficult very randomizer.
Yeah, I think that it uses Total's placement engine or like placement algorithm,
Okay.
which instead of deciding like whether a seed is going to be fast, slow, or whatever, it just like places things. Basically, like yeah, like I guess a little more randomly, I would say.
Yeah,
A little
it
bit
just doesn't,
more uniformly.
it doesn't go out of its way to hide that
Yeah.
first power bomb. So this
Hmm.
is just somewhat unlucky that the first two miners happen to be missiles, and there's just no other good miners, so we
Hmm.
can in here. Professor School does know that tech to check the back item. Interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm expecting we're gonna see that here. Although there's some power bombs, so if you get supers here, you don't really have to do it.
True.
If you don't, then I would.
Oh
Okay,
well,
and you
there's
get
power
power
bombs
bombs
right here
anyway.
then. That's convenient. I was gonna say he probably would go for it rather than have to go leave the room for the power bombs, but them being right here, nothing to worry about.
Yeah, if that were just a missile, I think that you would definitely go for it. If it were supers, you could decide to leave it, because then you would have all three of your minor items. But with power bombs there, you can just obviously like lay the power bomb, get the item. Also, one of Dash's new items was just picked up, the double jump. It's a pretty nice item. Lets you do an extra jump. Pretty self-explanatory. Pretty.
Yep,
The
it
name
has the
like says it all.
same rules as space jump, so it's the way space jump's kind of janky when you're in the regular air, and it works pretty well when you're underwater. It's got, I think, that same type of movement to it, but yeah, just that one extra jump, it makes mode easy. It makes you can recover from X-ray or
Yep.
prep, so that won't be an issue.
Way up worst room in the game, way out GT.
Yep.
It does a lot of interesting things. It lets you get up Everest without gravity jumping. I don't know if you need speed for that. I don't think so. I think that you can just do it with double jump, but I might be wrong. Anyway, Prof getting his 15th missile. I'm not sure how many more we'll see Prof pick up. I know that it's not like a terrible thing to skip missiles in this mode when you've already got the Star Charge Beam, which you can see that Prof still only has that. It only does 20 damage right now.
Yep, so that number on the top right there next to the map, it is definitely not. I mean, it's totally fine for this early part of the game, but by the time we get to Ridley, and definitely by the time we get to Mother Brain, I want to see kind of like the 200 to 300 range is what you like to get to. It can get as high as 500 if you get either the new route beam or plasma and all 4 charge upgrades. That's kind of one of the nice things too, is that the charge, in a lot of the other randomizer modes, finding that charge beam versus your opponent not finding it can be a pretty significant advantage. Not so much in Dash.
Yeah. Oh, Prof missing the first green gate glitch attempt, but getting it the second try.
I couldn't even tell you what was wrong with that first one.
Yeah, sometimes, like, normally I can tell by the feel if it's off a little bit, but, like, it's hard to see sometimes when you're just watching. Okay, so Prof picking up the 20th missile. I like getting up to at least 20. I think that stopping at 20 is totally reasonable in this mode, but... Ooh, and there's a gravity suit. So, in this mode, gravity suit will reduce heat damage by 25%. But that's a pretty nice find for Prof here. We'll see, that also actually, so in this mode, gravity reduces environmental damage and enemy damage the same amount by 50%. So it actually makes early X-ray a lot easier. So we'll see if Prof ends up going for that, or like a lot safer, not a lot easier. It doesn't
Let's
like.
have the grapple
Oh wait,
be-
no, yeah, he's got the grapple.
Yep.
Lame.
I think early X-ray it's a tougher call just because there are so many different majors. In fact,
Yeah,
you mentioned
it
that
almost.
there's 4 fewer tanks,
Mhm.
but even with that, because make room for the charge upgrades, but even that, you've got these extra new majors. So
Yeah, it's almost a little bit closer to in full, where when I'm playing in full, like I don't really do X-ray deboost just because of how long it takes. And in full, like the odds that a good item is there are pretty bad. Where in like something like Major Minor, or especially Chozo, you definitely want to do it.
oh, Chozo for
Because
sure.
it the odds of something good being there are just so high. And I think this is it's still closer to Major Minor, but it's like there are a few more item locations, so it does get a like it's close to Major Minor, but it's also like because of the extra locations, it makes it a little worse, I think.
Definitely not surprised to see Professor Wolf will go for this. Maybe
Yeah,
if
yeah,
he
you
felt
definitely want that E-Tank.
and just making the check in general. I mean, maybe if he
Mhm.
felt he was at a movement disadvantage, maybe skip it, maybe. But I like
Yeah,
that use
I just
jump
think with
there.
grapple, you want to check it, like.
Yeah, you know your opponent's probably going to do it, and
Mm-hmm.
I would say that School probably has the movement advantage over Rusty. I know Rusty's
Yeah, I
played
think
more
so.
Rando, but yeah, you don't want to leave an item that you're pretty sure your opponent's going to pick up, and if it's Varia here, uh, and you miss it, that could be the race right there.
Mm-hmm.
I like seeing School throw in these little double jump strats where they're not needed, but just try to
Yeah,
save a
yeah.
little bit of time.
Yeah, double jump's a cool item. It almost lets you improvise in a lot of ways. Oh, and
Unfortunately,
interesting.
face checking this item here.
Mm-hmm.
So that will not show up on the tracker because gravity
It does
completely
nothing. Yep.
obsolete the pressure valve.
So I think that there's like an obvious play here to go into Kraid. Like that's just what you do. But after that, what to do is kind of interesting, whether you go into Upper Norfair or Meridia. I think both
Yep.
are totally fine.
And,
So
and, and going to wreck ship is a play too. That double jump makes all of the items in wreck ship accessible. And one of the dash modifications is the wreck ship reserve tank is open. You don't need speed booster to get that or any other item.
mhm.
So there's 3 options. I mean, obviously we went down, so we're not going to wreck ship now. But
I mean, you could go up like through Mama Turtle up to Watering Hole and then up to Wreck Ship.
true, you can hit the West Meridia items. So many options.
Hmm.
Yeah, so the 3 new locations, one of them is at Watering Hole. One of them is at Wreck Ship, the Sky Missiles. And the last one is in Lower Norfair, the Mickey Mouse Missiles. And they actually took one away too. So Kraid does not have 2 majors. Kraid only has this one behind him. The E-Tank is not a major. I mean, like, going to Upper Norfair would be, if you find Varia there, you're in fantastic shape. Like you said, this is kind of where you're almost like playing your opponent. What's your opponent going to do?
Ooh, and Heat Shield. So that is really interesting. That actually kind of, as strange as it sounds, that kind of pushes me into Meridia here.
Into where?
Meridia. And
I kind of agree.
The reason
Yeah,
for
ahead.
that is I want to build up like a couple more E-Tanks there.
Exactly.
So that once I go into Upper Norfair, I can like for sure do Lower Norfair afterwards.
Yeah, 100% agree on that. I mean, you could absolutely make the Upper Norfair play too. It's going to be faster than it would have been, just, a minute ago. But like you said, the real benefit of Heat Shield is being able to do Lower Norfair, and
Mm-hmm.
just not quite there with Lower Norfair without Varia anyway.
Yep.
And so if you do Meridia and you do the faster Meridia checks, maybe you rush Dragon,
Yep.
which you have to do anyway, and then you go to Upper Norfair, and you don't, and then you're better set up for Lower Norfair. Even if Varia is in, okay, so Prophet is going down, and this is a reasonable play too. But what I was
Yeah,
going
I
to say
think
is,
this is totally fine. I think that this might be also Prof playing his opponent.
that could be too. But like if Varia is here and your opponent finds it first, yeah, they have a little bit of an advantage, but you're not that far disadvantaged by doing that Meridia check first.
Yeah, like you definitely are like disadvantaged because like the routing is a good amount worse. So you are giving something up to do the Meridia checks first, for sure.
It's
Like
it's
it,
unfortunate that the Meridia checks are just a little bit too spread out. Like if it
yeah.
was like somehow wreck ship like right there, I feel like they're a little bit closer together than the Meridia ones.
Mm-hmm. And there's another charge upgrade. That's pretty nice. Would kind of want to start getting some beams though now, other than charge.
Yeah, yeah. The charge upgrades by themselves don't do a lot.
Yeah, they're still good. Like it's much better to have them than to be stuck on lightning damage charge shots, but by themselves they're not going to be enough normally in terms of damage, or at least not where you want to be.
The good thing about checking up there for first is this is a very dense location, and you're picking up a lot of miners along the way, which we do want to get to that 30 super count,
Yep.
preferably 35 or 40, I'd say.
A couple of power bombs here. Those are pretty good. If Prof is thinking about doing a War in Warfare. And Spring Ball. So Spring Ball saves a power bomb in War in Warfare. At this point, it's mostly going to be used as like just kind of a movement freeform item, more so than for any other use because we've already got double jump. But it's still a nice item to find. Maybe not the best item that Prof was looking for, though.
It's nice that double jump opens up the screw attack check too, so that makes Lower Norfair a little bit more enticing. You're not only getting that refill, but you're also, I guess you're not going to find Varia there, but you might find a new tank. You might find Speed Booster.
Okay, and so it looks like Rusty's stream is live again.
Oh, that's good.
So hopefully we can get that up on here shortly. I just looked, and it looks like Rusty did go up to the wreck ship.
Okay.
I'm not sure when that was, but it was probably at Red Tower.
Yeah, because they couldn't even do meme route, so it would have most likely been there. Yep. Which with gravity double jump, really reasonable. You spike a Varia there, you could be in good shape. I think Prof is either going to want to see a Varia suit or at least 2 E-tanks.
Reserve. Reserve is basically as good as an E-tank if you're going for suitless LN. I think the first reserve is probably better than an E-tank, just for the Ridley fight.
Yep. So, would you consider doing Croc here and hoping maybe you get another E-tank or 2? You could get Varia too.
This is kind of the reason that I was talking about. Like, I would prefer to go into Meridia here. Like maybe you're supposed to do Croc, but like that's just like a really rough spot if you're trying to decide whether to do Croc or go back to Meridia. I think in this case, I would probably like unless I get like I don't know. If I'm doing Croc, I want to be certain that like after I'm done with Croc, I'm going to be able to do Lore and Warfare. So I would need to be like really close, but like not quite there to do Croc. Where otherwise I would just go back into Meridia, I feel like.
because we do have to take Prof's E-Tank count and double it, so it's kind of like he has 6, really 7 plus 4. But
Yeah, which
that's still
isn't
not
terrible,
great by any
but
means.
yeah. It and with this super count, like grapple helps a lot. I think that this is actually like a doable Lord Warfare, but it's slow. And it does look like
Yeah.
Rusty's stream went back down again.
Oh, well, at least we
So.
know you're in the correct ship. That's something. And it
Mhm.
didn't look like he had. I guess you couldn't tell if he had Varia because we got the gravity
No,
early.
but he was doing the top of Rex ship, so I don't think he did.
Yeah, I mean,
It looked like he might have had speed. Like, the way he was moving, I only got to see, like, 5 seconds of it, though, so...
I don't think we mentioned it. One of the other dash changes is you don't have to do Batuun. It's completely open back there, so the runners don't need speed or ice. They literally just need Varia. They would want more beams.
Okay,
Oh, it's all
so...
tanks.
This is really close to enough. I think it might be enough.
It would obviously be nice to have Plasma here just for the easy proc kill.
Yeah.
The super count's pretty low as the only, like, super count plus the beam.
Yeah, it's... I mean, you're doing Ridley on all supers. You would get there, and then you would basically farm up supers. You would probably have to do Crystal Flash. I don't mind doing Croc here. I think that doing Croc would be... Yeah, and it looks like Prof is doing that. I think I like the Croc play here. Like, you're so close now.
If you're playing your opponent's probably not doing the LN here. They're probably either going to Meridia first or Croc first, or we know that Rusty went to Wreck Ship. And so you kind of have a little bit of time to do this Croc check. And if you find any beam here at all, that's going to help.
I mean, I don't think you're beam killing Ridley almost regardless, unless you get Plasma exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Because any other beam, like, even with Plasma, like, it does, I think, 300 damage now.
Yep, so that'd be new route beam.
And I kind of like Prof deciding not to use supers here. Yeah, using supers makes it so that you have to farm back up afterwards.
I wasn't even thinking about it, but it makes a lot of sense. Croc does not care how much damage you do to him. It moves back to every time.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it to fight faster with supers, because you can get Croc to move back, like, if you use 1 super and 1 missile, you can get Croc to move back 4 instead of 2. Or even if you just use 1 super, then you can get him to move back 3. But
sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that... Oh, interesting. So Prof is just leaving after this first item. That is really interesting. I don't necessarily disagree with it, honestly.
Oh, he's leaving. As you said, this would be a slow
yeah.
RBO.
I think that after whatever you get at Meridia, like, it almost doesn't matter what you get at Meridia.
Like, you do, like, Mama Turtle... Yeah. You think you do, like, a Mama Turtle beach, or watering hole, I'm sorry, and then maybe the reserve tank out? That you're thinking? Head back here, or...
I was thinking about instead just going, like, through the toilet to start.
Just so rush Dragon. Forget about...
Yep, and then you go back, you, like, do the V.I.L.E.P.L.U.M.E tank, and then you can decide based on, like, how close you are and how comfortable it feels, whether you want to go down left Sandpit and get 1 item, or whether you want to go up to Watering Hole and Mama Turtle and get 2 items on the way back out.
I always forget you can do that Batuun on the way back. It's just not natural to think of that, but that is the play and dash, because you don't have to buy Batuun. Go around. It's also possible that
the route
that Croc moment to change his mind. Like, I'm gonna do Croc while I think about this, and maybe not.
So the way the Prof is going here is like the safer route. So you basically go up, you go to Watering Hole, then you go down left Sandpit, you get that, and then you go around. Ooh, and there's Varia.
Well, this was right. I was just gonna say, like, all these different options, rushing the boss, going direction first, they're all right. There's
Mhm.
you just gotta find that item.
So now I think the question is, what did Rusty get at Wreck Ship? And Prof, I'm not sure why he's going up here. You just want to go back down to Lorne Warfare at this point.
I would agree.
So if Rusty did get speed like I thought he might have, this could be a really interesting race.
Especially if you got ice too. Like if you got a beam to go with it as well.
So yeah, Prof. I'm not really sure what the idea of going this route is when you're skipping Watering Hole 2. Like, it's okay, but like it's a little slow to go this way, I feel like. There is space jump, that's pretty nice. And the super's almost I think the super's almost better, honestly, with this beam, but yeah, we'll see if hopefully Prof just goes back down and goes to Lorne Warfare now.
Yeah, I would hope so. I agree. That was a longer check. Did get bailed out by that space jump fine. That's gonna make
Yeah,
some of the
I'm not
time.
sure like it's worth it, but it does save some time, so. I'm curious what else we see Prof check then.
I mean, you're gonna probably skip screw attack at this point, but you might do
Yeah,
Mickey Mouse. I
I think
kind of
you
like
definitely do Mickey Mouse. Like you're looking for a beam, like one more beam
yes.
and you're good. Um,
There are some situations where I would consider doing Fireflies before Ridley. I don't know if this is gonna be.
I
He
don't think
might
so.
have
I
enough.
don't think
He has
so.
enough
I think
supers
you'll
to
have
get
enough.
by.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would imagine we're gonna see a Mickey Mouse and a Fireflies check. You'd possibly skip Mickey Mouse. You got to check Fireflies, I think. Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
you need a beam.
Prof using supers on these blue doors.
Well, you know, he won't need supers for the next boss he fights, I'm sure.
Yeah. So Space Jump will speed a good amount of things up. It'll speed the Lava Dive up a good amount. It'll speed Amphitheater up a bit. It means that Prof can check GT. Well, he already could, but it's a little faster to get out with it. Like, it's just like some minor time saves in a lot of different places that'll kind of add up.
I mean, if you get the gate glitch first try, it's still 2 rooms though.
Yeah, I think it's still pretty long.
I wouldn't bother with it just because you might not get the gate. I mean, unless maybe you're thinking I'll get a super farm out of it. I don't know.
Yeah. I think the super farm is almost the reason that you would do it. You like get the gate glitch, lay a power bomb, farm all of the supers. On the way back out, you lay another power bomb, farm supers again. Prof also doesn't have a Zeb skip option, which means that it takes a lot more ammo to get to Mother Brain.
Yeah, we're looking at like a
and-
225 shot Mother Brain fight with no ammo or something like that.
Let me think about that for a second. Yeah, I think that you're right. 225.
Prof choosing to skip that screw attack location, which we're not surprised by. That's
Yeah, I think that's the right decision.
I mean, even any of the beams is gonna. It's more than double, right? The output of the beam, like it'd be at least triple, I think.
So Ice Beam wouldn't double it. It would,
Oh, you
30,
start at
it
20.
would be 120.
Yeah, for some reason I was thinking you started at 10. No, that's not right. Okay. Ice would give you a zep skip option, but not double your beam.
Which giving you a zep skip option is huge because it just like saves so much ammo.
Yeah. I mean, we don't need to keep looking for beams until it's a 60-shot fight. If we can get it under 100. Well, energies, I mean, he's skipping E-tanks, so maybe you do want a little bit more.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit aggressive of a skip of that E-tank, but...
I know I would have picked it up, but that's because I know that I'm occasionally going to screw up majorly, and I might need that E-tank to bail me out.
Yeah.
Prof does have 2 reserves.
Yeah, and Prof will be losing some time to farming here. We'll see how the Metal Pirates treat him for super drops. Okay, so he lost a good amount of supers here.
I like these farms on the way. These bugs, and sometimes whatever the enemy is.
Yeah, like they're dropped a missile, a super, and another super, so that was really nice.
Yeah.
Prof is going to need probably going to go on 7 more supers if I had to guess.
Because even one missed super here would be 8 beam shots or something, 7 or 8 beam shots. Not.
Yeah, like you've got 19 missiles, so now you've got 20 missiles, so that's like 3 supers there. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if Prof goes in, yeah, like that. So now you got the 30 supers, and if you miss, like, you can miss 3 basically, and then still have 20 missiles to make up for it.
I hadn't noticed, and so Kit mentioned in chat, Iron Rusty's screen isn't even showing a dash.
Oh.
It's not even a dash title.
I didn't even think about that. That's funny.
But it's been stuck like that for
the
beginning of the race. And apparently, I guess it was working at one point. Zeb checked in and used a rec ship, so I guess we wouldn't have. Well, I guess, do you remember if you saw the charge number?
Oh, I didn't. No, I didn't. I should have looked at that. So now we've got all of the charge beam upgrades. 100 damage, that's a 180 shot Mother Brain fight without any other ammo.
All 4 charge upgrades. Any beam will do. Even Speed Booster would help a fair amount. I assume Prof knows the Speed Zep Skip.
Yeah, Prof definitely can do Speed Zep Skip. But, like, even, like, just Spazer would save so much time here.
That would double it.
Yep.
Yeah, that would get you to 200, and
once it's at 200, then it's pretty okay to, like, just kind of go on that.
I'm trying to think if I were running the seed, would I go into the fight with just 100? I'd have an extra E-tank, so I wouldn't skip that one. I don't know.
I mean, you got 2 reserves, too.
Yeah.
So this is like 6 E-tanks, not 4.
suppose you could always check Gauntlet. That's a very fast check with the Space Champions in your deck.
I mean, it's not that fast, but yeah, it's a like possibility. And then like with this beam combo, supers also are okay at the back. Like you wouldn't want to do it if it were just for the supers, but like you got a chance at something good in Gauntlet too.
Mhm.
Oh, there's the
What's-
super. Nice.
Looks like the tracker has filled in a few of our items for us on Iron Rusty's side. So he did find that ice and speed.
Okay, so Rusty's stream is back. Rusty is in War and Warfare without Various Suit.
Ooh. Okay. What's his E-Tank count at?
He just went to GT and got an E-Tank and now is at 7.
Okay.
And
So that's like 14
I
or
think
15 tank equivalents, yeah. Assuming it's a heat shield.
yeah, I would assume so. Like you that was at Spazer, I think, or was it? No, it was at Kraid, right? Yeah, it was at Kraid. So
The heat
you
shield.
wouldn't skip that.
No, there'd be no reason to.
So I think that yeah, and so Rusty does have speed booster, but Rusty's beam is still only at 60.
He doesn't have as many charge upgrades.
Yeah, Rusty also does have ice, yeah.
So it looks like Rusty went up to wreck ship, found ice and speed, and then just went straight to Upper Norfair and probably did
Yeah,
the
that's
5 Upper
what I
Norfair
think
check.
too.
Oh,
I don't
did
think
Kraid.
that Rusty has Dragon dead. But I could be wrong.
I'd be surprised. I guess you could
Like
maybe
you
go
could
for
and
the
then miss the
back.
Varia. But like I think that you would be at like a different lookout if you did Meridia here.
You know, like maybe he could have gone like the Forgotten Highway route to Oregon, maybe. I don't
Okay,
know.
yeah, that would make some sense. No, but when I saw Rusty earlier, I saw him doing top of wreck ship. So
Mhm.
Rusty, I think, did the full top of wreck ship, and if you're doing that, then I don't think that you do.
You'd have to save wreck ship beats for last, but
mhm.
yeah, I think it's more likely that he still has Dragon. For chat wondering, we will know if you kill Dragon because that bug has been fixed.
Yeah, Prop Joe just skipped Dragon here. That was the play. Easy dub. And Prof is going to Plasma.
There will be no G3s today. Well, there could be the traditional G3, I guess. I don't know about this. Before Dragon?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're going to do it, you do it before Dragon.
Well,
but
not necessarily, because you can like see what's at Dragon, and then leave this way if you want to, and then get the wreck ship E-Tank item on the way too. So it depends on like what you're thinking for your route. Yeah, and just an E-Tank here.
apparently the Green Pirates don't like grapple.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get Prop wanting to show off the new revised room. I do really like that you can't get trapped in that room anymore. They can put the platform there. It's just unfortunately this room it's just like one room too many out of the way.
Yeah, it's pretty slow. So an update on Rusty's side. Rusty is in Ridley pre-farming room. I'm not sure if Rusty's going to Crystal Flash and then re-farm, or if he's going to just like farm up, because with Heat Shield it's net positive on energy to farm the bugs.
Rusty's stream is back for more than a minute now. Maybe we can try to get it back on screen here.
Yeah. It looks like Rusty is farming, is just farming, not doing the Crystal Flash. Because if you do a Crystal Flash, then you need to farm up 10 supers. I'm not sure which is better, honestly. And I'm curious what we'll see Prof do on the way out here. I'm guessing that we'll see the bot-wound exit, but
I mean,
I
if
wouldn't be
he's checking,
shocked to see it the other way.
if he's checking plasma, I feel like you gotta check Macho Man.
Yeah, I meant like after that. Like, you could go back out like the back of Meridia.
And he never checked watering holes. That's another option.
Oh wow, and Rusty actually only has 25 supers for this
Oof.
Ridley fight.
With that, like,
And
60 beam.
yeah, and he's been like trying to use power bombs in this.
I was just gonna say, Rusty had a very had a spectacular like fight once in a rando where he had like 10 supers and 25 power bombs or something stupid. Like,
Mhm.
gets double hit like most of the power bombs. He had some missiles too, but that was with Varia that he did that with. The Prof does get this.
Oh, and Rusty takes a death. Did save at the Lore Norfair save.
That's unfortunate. I mean, I think Prof is in the head. Even if we give Dragon kill to Rusty, I think Prof would still be ahead. But
Yeah, I think at this point, like, the speed plus the ice was a lot. Yeah, and I think that verifies that Rusty does not have Dragon dead, because Rusty, I don't think, does have high jump.
correct. Yeah, I was just going to ask. Like, there's no way he's not checking that with missing Various here.
Yeah.
And of course, you pick it up, you see it. That's too bad that Rusty took the death. So I always like to see more competitive race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that because Rusty didn't have Dragon dead, I don't think it really mattered. Anyway. But, like, yeah, it would have been nice to see Rusty pull it out.
Yeah, Seed's been very stingy on supers, it feels like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, Prof has 40. It's not that bad. I think that Rusty was probably... I don't know. I feel like Rusty likely just didn't go as far out of his way to try to find them as Prof did.
That could be. Obviously, some of the rickshaw miners, like Attic, are not worth. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and Prof does leave Watering Hole. I think that's probably the right decision.
I don't know. He needs a beam, though. I mean, need is a strong word, but
yeah,
there's supers
like,
back there, too. Or, well, I guess we don't know if there's super back there. There's potentially 2 ammo that checks on that route.
Mm-hmm. I just think that it's a pretty long check. The fight, like, yeah, the fight's long, but it's like maximum 3 minutes. Like, and like you got ammo, so it's going to be shorter than that. And I don't think that making like these long checks on average kind of pays out, because it needs to be like one of a specific set of 4 items for it to like work out.
You can see how low Rusty's health is ticking down here before this Ridley fight.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The gravity and heat shield do not stack, but still 50% damage reduction does make a pretty big difference. Rusty probably has reserves, maybe even. Well, no, there aren't more than 2. So
yeah, Rusty has both of the reserves.
Yeah, this super count's pretty rough. It does have. Well, you can't farm missiles down here very easily, unfortunately. These bugs just do not like to drop missiles if you need health.
Yeah, like, and even though like you're getting to full health here, you're never at full health when the bugs actually drop their have their drops. So
The Rusty can have a clean fight. He's only going to need a couple power bombs. But still, easier said than done.
Yeah. I guess you could potentially do some ice shields. How many? So it's 90 per particle. That's 360. You need 2 ice shields plus all of your ammo.
Yeah, would have been a good idea to open with an ice shield. I think after that, you just play a power bomb at some point, get in one hit.
I mean, you could also do 1 ice shield, and then how many charge shots is it?
Oh my gosh. This is...
140, so it's 3 charge shots, I think, after that.
I wanted to see what happened on Prof's side. I'm surprised to see the rage here.
Yeah. I mean, been a little too focused on what's going on Rusty's screen to see what's been going on Prof's side.
You gotta get the supers in.
Yeah, I think that this is enough damage with the power bombs. Like, you just have to...
I think really changed color.
Yeah,
we missed one there.
Ooh, yeah.
But he's probably still okay. I think he changed color at 15 or 16.
And yeah, I like leaving about 70 in the reserve like that. It was just a charge upgrade behind Ridley. Okay, but Rusty does make it out. All Rusty needs to do now is get back to the farming spot. And Rusty needs to pause. Yep, good.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad under these circumstances to let that wear out. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I think that maybe you're. I think that maybe you just want to like rush to the farming spot instead of going here even. Okay, and Prof does get that speed, so Prof does check right super. So Rusty needs to get to this. That speed is huge for Prof because now he has a Zeb skip. That means that the fight will be a lot faster. If Rusty can get to the farm spot, then he's safe.
No, Rusty.
No, Rusty! Just get to the bugs!
Rusty.
I'm not sure why he was trying to farm the...
Yeah, you need to go to the big health enemies there.
I think that he had enough time.
I do too. He probably needed to use the double jump to get over there quicker, and remember with the half damage. I mean, I know people, if they're watching RBO, they might be thinking, well, it's really hard to farm up health that way, but with it only doing half damage,
it's slow, but it's easy. Like to get the health,
and then eventually you're going to get 4 more supers and be able to do a crystal flash, and then you're going to be able to farm up more supers, and he would have been able to do it.
And it looks like Rusty didn't get this E-tank coming in. That's.
You think
I think that
saw it and saved it? Like
the difficulty with no, he didn't see it because he saved. And you would have tracked it before saving, where Rusty saved. But
this feels bad.
The difficulty of what Rusty is doing is all in the Ridley fight. It's not past that.
Rusty might be
it's not getting out.
Back here.
Yeah, that's what Rusty is doing. So you don't like sometimes in like non-dash settings, you want to leave that E-tank for the way out. Because you got like a long hell run. But in this mode, because the hell run stops where Lord Warfare stops, so it stops at 3 Musketeers, you actually just almost always want to pick up that E-tank because the way out is just like so much easier than the way in.
Prof is going with this garbage charge beam.
Yeah, I think this makes perfect sense. Once you get that speed, which Prof did, like Prof's got a lot of ammo. It's still a pretty long Mother Brain fight, but it's going to be like a 90 shot instead of a 180 shot that it was kind of looking like, or like close to that.
Mhm.
Let me think about exactly the amount of. Well, it'll depend on whether Prof gets like a super or missile drop here too.
Yep. For some reason, these
Ooh, I might have gone back for that missile drop, but it's not. It's probably not worth it, honestly.
Metroids for some reason only drop one item when you kill them with power bombs
Hmm.
instead of like the usual 5 or 6 or whatever it is that they drop.
Hopefully, Prof gets one more missile. Yep, and does. Nice.
And got a super somewhere too.
Hmm. So with this ammo, I'm assuming Prof isn't going to take any refills. That's 3 supers gone, followed by 15 and 7. So that's
Mhm.
30. So 5 and 30 going into the fight.
With just under
Um,
90 shots.
Yep. So 85.
Oh yeah, because each missile's a beam shot.
Yep, the equivalent.
Which that's not that much longer than a new route fight.
I forgot the Prof had high jump.
It's hard to do the baby skip without wave beam.
Hmm. Especially with
That's,
just regular charge beam, like any beam upgrade really helps out. Like plasma helps, Spazer helps a lot. Even ice, I feel like, has a wider hitbox and can help.
I wonder how serious that baby skip attempt was, or if Prof knows how to do it with that power bomb. It is
I know
possible
that
to.
Prof's practiced that a good amount, so Prof knows what he's doing with that.
It is possible to lay a power bomb and somehow avoid the baby.
Yeah,
It's like its own tech. It's not something that, oh, if I can do baby skip, I can do this. No, that's not how it works.
I know the Prof put a good amount of work into that though. So nice speed sub skip.
First try.
Yeah,
I
I'm
hope
curious
Rusty
how
gets
this race would have ended up.
it
If
in this attempt. It's not going to matter for the course of the race, but it is a nice pride thing to be able to pull off this fight.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely within his skill range now. I mean, he could have done. He did the fighter earlier. I'm sure he could have done it with enough attempts, but now with the extra supers,
I think just like given where Varia was, this route did not work out for Rusty.
no.
Could have I think if Rusty had gotten like I don't know, like Varia at some point, like there were a lot of opportunities for Rusty to get Varia. I felt like,
Mhm.
and if he did, I think that like that just like Prof was doing a lot of backtracking, a lot of like kind of playing things safe. If Rusty just like finds that Varia and goes, then this could have been different, but
Oh, sure. It's just at the same time though. Once Rusty made that, well, he did get speed booster for his direction troubles.
yeah. Yeah, the speed booster and the ice beam somewhere.
But it's just once you make that wreck ship play and it doesn't have what you want, it's like he basically would have needed to find Varia immediately. Which
Yeah,
he could
like
have.
you could go down
Right
Red
there.
Tower, do Kraid, go into Iridia, and find it. I think that's like a reasonable route.
It is a meta. It is almost like meta gaming opponent. Maybe he thought Prof went to Turtle and was trying to bet against it a little bit. You know, like, well, Prof went there first and found it, I lose, so I need to not go there. Type of thing. A pea shooter special beam attack.
Yeah, that should be something that the Dash team programs in. Just to have each particle do 20 damage. or maybe 60. And Prof made it through, so GG to Prof on that Mother Brain fight. And that should be basically the last hurdle.
Yep. There's no changes made to the escape sequence for Dash, so. It looks like Rusty's powering through here. Has plenty of ammo in tow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rusty has like a lot of ammo. So we'll be able to, like, it should not take more than one Crystal Flash to get out of here. But if Rusty needed more than one, then he would have it. I'm guessing we see another save on the way out here from Rusty.
I would think so. Looks like it, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
with your attack, you don't have to worry about making those key hunters be in a bad spot after the save. And,
and with
really
that
don't.
super drop, Rusty does now have 3 Crystal Flashes at his disposal.
But if you take a hit at the wrong time, that's not going to matter.
Yeah.
And Rusty probably feels pretty behind here.
Yeah.
You want to take the save
Yeah,
and finish.
When you start taking some deaths like that, then it's hard to feel like ahead after that.
Yeah. But you got to race to the end. You never know when your opponent's going to have the big mistake of Mother Brain or... Does the Hyper Beam really... Why does it say 500 on prop screen?
That's... The Hyper Beam is not 500. It's just what it says.
Okay. Yeah, there were actually quite a few. I always think, oh, where could these beams be? And we checked almost everything, but actually, we didn't check almost everything.
Shaktool, we got Grapple. We did see Screw Attack on Rusty's side, or I did. We didn't get to see it because it was before the stream was back up, but
there's Waterway, there's Outlet. I don't know if you mentioned that one yet.
No. Yep.
There were more, maybe. There really weren't that many that we didn't see.
Yeah, there were only a few. Kind of crazy we didn't find like more beams.
Yeah,
between the
like
2
3 out
runners.
of the 5 we missed are beams, or something like that.
And Professor School has finished in first place with an official race time of 57 minutes and 41 seconds. GG to Prof.
GG. I think Prof will be joining us shortly.
And we are joined by Professor School. GG, Prof.
Hey, thanks.
So, how do you feel about that seed?
I think I feel okay about it. A couple things didn't quite go the way that I planned execution-wise. I don't know. I feel like I'm still in this infancy of my randomizer journey where every single seed is teaching me something, which is probably good because that means that every time I play I'm getting better. I'll be perfectly honest, I was seriously considering just bailing after ice and high jump. and just going through Meridia first, but it was just too tempting when I found Heat Shield
Yeah,
to not clear Upper Norfair.
Actually, I was talking about it on comms. I felt like Heat Shield actually would have pushed me into Meridia more than.
Oh, really?
So, and the reason for that is that you basically like, you do some quick checks in Meridia, and you basically guarantee that on your way back, like into Norfair, you'll
be able to do
Lower
suitless. Yeah, I considered that. I did. I don't know. These are the decisions that on the fly I find are difficult to make.
Yeah.
I considered that there was no way, essentially, unless it was Varia, and maybe this is what you're getting at, unless you find Varia in Bubble Mountain, you're not going to get enough tanks to do suitless LN.
Yep, exactly.
Right, and so maybe that's what you're getting at. And I had an inkling of that, and then I was sort of thinking like, maybe I'll go to Croc and get tanks, and I didn't do the math fast enough, and I needed to make a decision, and so I just decided to go and see what I found. I also didn't have any beams, and I thought that finding that would be really useful.
I mean, the charge upgrade was still like good at Croc. So
it was. I mean, I don't think it was a terrible decision, and it's not completely indefensible, but I agree with you that the ideal thing there is probably to go through Meridia and make a bunch of checks. The thing that's hard for me is like, how many checks should I make, especially since I don't know what's in Upper Norfair, so I don't know what I need to do LN at that point.
Yeah, what I was the route that I was talking.
Of a troll, like it's like, oh, I should go to Upper Norfair. I found Heat Shield, but you really only want to go to Norfair when you're ready to do that.
Yeah, I know. So what was the route you were thinking, Zeb?
So I thought there were two possible routes, basically. Like, either way, I think that you start. Well, unless you're like playing the super safe. But like, what I was thinking was not playing it super safe. You basically start by going through like the sandfalls, and you go up the toilet, and then you can decide whether you want to do plasma. I probably would skip it and go to Dragon. And then you do Dragon, you do Bot Wound, and then based on like your item loadout at that point, you can decide whether you go down Left Sandpit or whether you want to do Watering Hole plus Mama Turtle on the way out.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because then you can. So this is the mistake that I made, right? Because then you can essentially like route Left Sandpit into your way to LN, and I sort of did it sort of backwards, right? Where like, I don't know, I backtracked probably too much, and this is where I'm still in the learning phase, right? I went through all of Upper Norfair. I had probably like a 8% chance of cashing in on Varia. I don't know the exact numbers.
Well, it's better than that, but like yeah.
I mean, it wasn't great, right? It was like, I don't know, less than 20%. It wasn't an excellent opportunity, but I went with that anyway, and I figured I'd pick up a bunch of items, and that might help me with movement along the way. Like if I go into Meridia and I find a bunch of movement items in Upper Norfair, that's going to make Meridia faster. I don't know. I see the
choices,
of your
right?
route.
You find Varia in Upper Norfair, you feel good.
Yeah.
And then it's thinking like,
winning.
if like your opponent goes right to Upper Norfair and finds Varia, and you don't, but you only put it off by a few Meridia checks, and you get Dragon out of the way, like you still are in it, you know?
Yeah.
But of course, the way you routed it with the first Meridia check you made was Varia, so you know.
Yeah, and I actually also don't really know what the answer is there. Like, I had a fine loadout for LN, but like, any movement item at all just makes my life so much easier, and so I don't know if it's how slow it really is to go through Left Sandpit. It's probably, I don't know, Zeb, if you think it's just an outright wrong decision.
I thought that I definitely wouldn't have gone through it, but
that was probably the only decision we were both like, I don't know what's going on here. Every other decision is like, because Zeb and I were like, well, we should probably both we were thinking go to Meridia, and then you went to Upper Norfair. We're both like, yeah, Upper Norfair is a great play. Like, it's like,
yeah,
this could absolutely be right.
Do you just finish Meridia at that point and then route through Left Sandpit to LN? Like, what's the correct play there?
No, I would just go straight to LN. You had the double jump already, which was like a good enough movement item. Yeah. It's not like perfect, but like it's fine. If you want, like, I would actually rather check GT there than Left Sandpit, which GT ended up being an E-Tank, Left Sandpit ended up being Space Jump, but like, I guess just like the reason that I wouldn't do Left Sandpit is that it just routes so much worse because you're going through all of Everest, and then like pre-aqueduct, aqueduct, and left sandpit, like where
I know.
all to get back to the same place that you were just at, kind of a thing. And then if you're doing that, I think that
just turn around, like you just came from Norfair.
I mean,
but it was probably the faster thing to do.
And I think that if you are doing that, then like you probably want to do watering hole if like that's kind of your idea to like go around and like get some more items. I guess
that felt even slower because like that's like the same length
it is,
and you're going in the wrong direction. At least with left sandpit, it's like you go out the bottom and then you go right. I don't know, like it brings you back down towards LN.
I guess if you were at watering hole when you got Varia, I would like the left sandpit check a lot.
Oh yeah,
because but because you were at like Mama Turtle instead, and you didn't even have a good way through Everest. Like you had double jump, and it was like
I don't know why I gravity jumped there. That was so stupid. I had double jump. It's just
but it's still like it's not a like simple room with just double jump anyway.
It's not. So, it's fine. It's fine. I'm still learning. I'm still learning. You know, and then the rest of the seed after that was pretty straightforward.
Yeah. I like not going to GT there. Like, kind of crazy you didn't end up finding any other beam. Like that was you found the 4 charge upgrades, but so your beam wasn't like absolutely horrible, but.
Yeah, I don't know. And then I totally mismanaged my ammo at Fantoon, which cost me a bunch of time, unfortunately, because then I had some menuing issues having 0 missiles. And I almost nailed the baby skip, which is really a shame because I get it probably about 75% of the time now when I practice it, using the power bomb to clear the seaweed.
Tough one.
So kind of unfortunate that I didn't nail that, but I mean, I didn't need it, right? I did enough today. I did enough today. I'm just honestly, I'll be really honest. When I went into Criteria and I had just 10 missiles going into Green Bryn, I was having like nervous flashbacks to my Chozo race because I was like, okay, I'm gonna play this a little safer. If I get anything that lets me check, like if I get bombs, I'm gonna check 230, right? I thought, okay, at least I have screw. I can potentially make the sort of funny check behind Green Bryn Reserve. And then fortunately the seed just gave me supers and power bombs, and I didn't need to stress about not having miners, which was kind of like the biggest relief. Once that happened and I didn't have to worry about it, I relaxed a lot. So yeah, I mean, overall, like, is this a winning performance against like the top 10%, 5% of runners? Probably not, but this is all part of the learning process. So we're closing in on playoffs now. This is, I think, a pretty big win for V.I.L.E.P.L.U.M.E, considering what happened earlier in the other big top 4 matchup in Brinstar division. So I feel really good about the win, and I've still got more time to continue to get better at Dash, which is my playoff mode, and that's the plan for the next few weeks.
Well, the playoff is like almost a different mode, right? With it being just the standard dash.
I don't believe that's true. It is recall.
Yeah, it's dash recall. There is for game 4 and 5, there is an option to choose original dash. But for game 2, it is dash recall.
It's recall, yeah.
Really? Okay. Well,
if it's not, I'm in trouble.
Our team's chances of making the playoffs are low, so I haven't been too worried about it for that reason too. But yeah, glad I didn't tell my teammate something different.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm glad for the critiques and for the y'all talking through it with me. I'm still just a little bit difficult to make those decisions.
Yeah, for sure.
It's getting better.
I felt like the decisions you were making, I thought the reasoning behind them was that you wanted to basically try to do the same thing that Rusty was doing. That's what it felt like to me when I was watching. Because I felt like the decisions you were making were the decisions that Rusty was going to make, because we didn't have Rusty stream for a long time. So that's kind of what I was thinking you were doing. But then, like, once we got Rusty's stream, it turned out Rusty went to wreck ship first.
Yeah, looking at the item tracker, it looks like there was massive divergence. I'm guessing Ice was in wrecked ship.
Yep.
Yep.
We don't know where, I don't think.
Yeah, we don't know where.
The tractor.
Okay. It looks like X-ray got picked up too.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess I'm not sure I was necessarily thinking what Rusty would do. It's sort of hard for me to say necessarily. But I guess part of the heat shield play through Upper Norfair was guarding against Rusty deciding like, oh, you know what? This is how I'm going to beat Prof. I'm going to go and find Varia, and I'm just going to go down immediately. And if that happens, and I bail on Bubble Mountain, and he goes and finds Varia, and I'm, meddling around in Meridia, like, I think I could still potentially make up time. But I don't know, like
that's
if you find
where
Varia
like
and a movement item, like I don't know, I just don't know how I'd necessarily come back from that.
that's kind of what my thinking was with the route that I was thinking. Is you like do the fast checks in Meridia, so you like go straight for the boss. You don't worry about like the out of the way stuff.
Yeah.
And then like you lose some time if Varia is in like Upper Norfair. You definitely do. But you're like kind of protecting yourself against that while at the same time like being able to do Lower Norfair afterwards.
Yeah.
It would have been tough though, because if you do it that way, then you don't find Varia suit, and we'll certainly do in the LN Hell runs. I guess you probably haven't been caught up on Rusty's experience with those Hell runs. He took a couple deaths to Ridley.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Rusty tried to do the Ridley fight on 25 supers. And had to like try to use some power bombs for a while. Did actually manage to kill Ridley the second try.
How many tanks?
But didn't. 7+2.
Oh,
I think
that's
7
tough.
plus 2, yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
So then
even with
then he
attack,
turned around to
that's
Fire
difficult.
Fleas and found an 8 tank, and then he went up to Hodarubi and found a super pack.
Yeah, and then he was
he was
able to
able to
do the fight.
Yeah, that's unfortunate though. Oh,
So
boy.
that was a good lesson of, hey, if you're going to do the LN Hell run and you're low on supers, consider doing some checks in LN, but you've got that heat shield.
Yeah,
it's not
or
as
like
bad.
beforehand, if you're thinking about it beforehand. Like
For sure, yeah, for sure. And that's, I think, why I felt the worst about clearing Upper Norfair, because it's like, I didn't really have great ammo at that point, and my tanks were never going to be enough. And I don't know, maybe the croc play wasn't that good either, because I didn't have a fast
I actually thought that, like,
croc. I don't know.
I thought that you actually did have enough after Upper Norfair. It just would have been slow.
It would have been slow, yeah.
So the biggest obstacle is actually that you didn't have space jump for the lava dive. So you would like have to grab jump that, and then and that takes a lot of energy.
Could have done
when
the
you
double
don't
jump,
have
maybe?
double jump doesn't get you all the way up, I don't think.
Without high jump boots? Okay.
I don't think so. That
I don't
would be
think
something
that it
good to
does.
test.
I think you need high jump. I'm pretty sure you need high jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Although if you rushed Dragon, you would have had high jump.
That's true. I mean, I think Zeb's route is just
It's funny though, like Zeb's route still.
no, it's not, because you could find Varia in Upper
like,
Warfare, and then like if you're like playing against someone with like similar skill level, and they go into Upper Warfare and they find a Varia there, they just win. Like that's just kind of like how it is. So I don't think that my route is just right. Like
I've seen runners go down Red Tower, dip into Meridia, check Mama Turtle, and leave. So this is definitely a possibility that somebody could have done. Like, no matter what you do, unless you like completely god route it, there's always a way, right? Just, Rando's gonna rando.
Also, this fight from Rusty is not free. Rusty doesn't have area, so it's going to take 6 energy tanks from the Rainbow Beam. Just want to point that out.
Oh.
He does have 2 reserves, but
So. And each red beam will do 200 then?
yep, so if you get double hit, that's 400. I think at this point a single 200 is death anyway, but
these meatballs can be kind of tough to avoid, especially
Nice,
with
that was a great dodge. Great dodge.
onion rings coming in.
Yeah, I'll say one of the things, even though I'm still learning about the decision trees and things like that in another nice dodge in SMR, The one thing that I do feel like is definitely a plus for me is I've run all 5 major categories at this point. Not all as extensively as the others, but like I never ever worry about stuff like these mother brain fights or like the low loadout Ridley fights. Just between RBO and low ice, I've been really testing myself in vanilla SM with a lot of these more difficult sort of modes, and I think that definitely gives me a lot of confidence. Like I never once doubted that I was gonna have any trouble, and I think my my mother brain fight goes to show it. It was pretty solid.
Yeah, we were talking about like potentially picking up one more E-Tank, but you had 2 reserves, so like you were totally fine for that mother brain fight. Like even with only
that's why I was
4
skipping.
E-Tanks.
I think I saw 2 or 3 E-Tanks along the way, and I just wanted to skip them.
Yeah. Like if you didn't have Screw, I think that it would have made sense to pick them up for like Lore Norfer specifically, not for like Mother Brain, but because you had Screw, I think it made sense.
Yeah, to skip them. Once I had Screw and double jump, it just felt free.
G Rusty, and he was aware of the missing various suit. That's good.
Yep, nicely done. That's kind of a butt clenching fight. It was a good job.
You're doing week 7 as well, Prof?
I am.
Yep, Prof is going to be running both of them, one with me and one with Nevdi.
Well, have fun. I don't know if I've just gotten the short end of the stick with the practice seeds, but the 3 that I've done for practice had 1 5-missile Phantoon fight and 2 I can't find power bombs for 30 minutes. So.
Yeah, we've done a
time.
couple. Prof and I did like at the very beginning of League, and we had some really rough seeds.
They were really awful.
We had one where you had to go to get like an E-Tank from Mama Turtle, and then like not take damage on the way out, so that you could do a hell run coming out of Main Street.
Oh gosh.
So that was a really
awful.
rough one.
Yeah, I think one of the seats, I just abandoned those power bomb seats. One of those seats, we didn't even find power bombs. We found regular bombs at speed, and I think I was trying to do that with either 3 or 4. I think I had 4 tanks, but I couldn't make it or something. Like you had to go find all the E-Tanks so that you could get your bombs, so then you could actually go do stuff. Well, hope I don't get any of those in the actual races. I don't mind the hunts. Super powerbomb hunts can be kind of fun, but when you need to collect every E-Tank, that really kind of defeats the co-op purpose. Like I want to be able to diverge, go different places, and
I mean, you still gain things from the divergence. Like you can tell your partner where the E-Tanks are once you realize that's what's going on, and then they can skip everything else. But like, yeah, you definitely want to like be getting more out of your divergence than just that.
Yeah. And then of course it's this full item. I mean, like if you run through Green Brand and you can only do half the checks, it just feels so bad. Like I basically didn't even come here. My partner's gonna have to come here and find the rest of the stuff later. Rusty is gonna finish it out pretty soon here.
Do you have a sense about how long those deaths cost Rusty?
He was still losing.
Like that?
He was still losing to you for sure.
Yeah, we were debating if he had Dragon down or not, and we figured even with Dragon down he was behind. But
yeah,
I hear you don't need to beat Dragon anymore. That's a thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah. We were saying that you should have skipped Dragon. I think that was the play. But...
GG.
And GG to Rusty. With an official racetime.gg time of 1:18:40. We'll see if Rusty wants to join in for an interview as well. Okay, it looks like we're not going to get Rusty in for an interview this time. So yeah, I think that'll just about do it for us. Prof, do you want to add any last comments about this seed?
No, I think I'm trying to just go by the mantra that we used to use on the Ultimate Frisbee team I played on, which is you try not to get too high when you win, you try not to get too low when you lose. Last week was crushing. The seed that I got in Chozo was felt really unfair with the placement of the power bombs, and I managed to shake it off and get a maybe not the cleanest win, but a win is still a win, and we got another important one actually for our team in the W column. So I feel good about that. Still a lot to learn, and I'm always happy to take the criticisms and try to improve. So thanks to both of you for doing comms and for the tracking from Glenn and everyone else, and big GGs to Rusty for persevering through that seed.
Okay. And with that, I think that'll be all for us. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you to Professor School and Iron Rusty for racing. Make sure to follow the runners. You can follow the commentator and the tracker too. We have a great tracker today. We had Not Now Gwen. I've been joined here by Idlechild, and I've been Zeb316, and we will see you next time.